All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Teacher Nev. This is Dr. Joe's reading and writing class. Today is March 6th, 2025. If you can hear me clearly, can I get a 4 in the chat? If you can hear me clearly, can I get a 4 in the chat? Awesome. You guys don't have to direct message me, by the way. You could just put it in the chat for everyone. Camilla and James, have you guys been in this? Is this your first class with me here? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to then just skip the okay, Russell's here. All right, we're gonna skip over the homework. Couple changes to the class. Dr. Joe wants me to now. Oh, Jeffrey's here too. Dr. Joe wants me to now add more homework in the classes. So it's just going to be the vocab words. I'm going to add some fill in the blank questions like this. So on top of our regular question of the day, we'll also have a fill in the blank homework section um, based on the vocab words. Okay, so that's the only update. Oh, and also our articles are a bit longer, and he wants me to make sure everybody is participating in our reading response questions. Okay, so no more um, people just skipping questions and things like that. He wants everyone to respond to every question. So, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, book of the day, Catch 22. Who here has first, before we get into it, who here has heard of Catch 22? Like, oh, that's a Catch 22, like that saying. Raise your hand if you've heard that before. What? Nobody? What? Okay. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe that's what's going on. Jeffrey goes, POV boomer phrase. It's not a boomer phrase. People have You guys can't all agree. Okay, maybe I am a boomer. Okay. Who wants to read this one? All right, Jeffrey, since you called me a boomer, you can uh you can read this one.
Okay, I will be reading this, but I might not respond immediately when you call me because I'm eating Popeyes right now. Okay. Catch 22. Joseph Heller, set in Italy during World War II. This is a story of an incomparable malingering bombardier, Yosarin, a hero who is furious because thousands of people he has never met are trying to kill him. But his real problem is not the enemy; it is his own army, which keeps increasing the numbers of missions the men must fly to complete their service. Yet Yosarian makes any attempt to excuse himself from the perilous missions he's assigned. He'll be in violation of Catch 22, a hilarious, sinister bureaucracy rule. A man is considered insane if he willingly continues to fly dangerous combat missions, but if he makes a formal request to be removed from duty, oh my god, he is proven sane and therefore ineligible to be relieved.
If you willingly. So yeah, so Catch 22, it's a situation when it seems like there's a paradox. Like you do one thing, it's a negative outcome. You do the opposite, it's a negative outcome, right? Um, okay, anyways, also very famous book. I still can't believe you guys, none of you have heard of Catch 22. Like the book or the expression, the saying. Okay, anyways, Joseph Heller, the author, who wants to take this one? Okay, let's ask someone new. How about James? James, would you like to read this one?
Okay, the entire page.
Yep.
Joseph Heller. Joseph Heller, 1923 to 1999, was an American author best known for his satirical novel Catch 22, 1961, which became a defining work of modern literature. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Heller served as a U.S. Army Air Corps bombardier in World War II and experienced a heavily influenced Catch-22. The novel, a darkly comedic critic of war and bureaucracy, introduced the term Catch-22 into popular culture as a paradoxical no-win situation. Heller continued writing novels, including Something Happened in 1974 and Good as Gold in 1979, but none achieved the same cultural impact as Catch-22. He also worked as a screenwriter and a playwright. In 1981, he was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a debilitating neurological disorder, but later recovered and wrote the experience in No Laughing Matter, 1986. Heller passed away in 1999 at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy of sharp wit, dark humor, and incisive social commentary.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for reading that, James. So, yes, firstly, he was just lived his life full of comedy, full of humor, and social commentary is important, right? So his whole thing with also relating to Catch-22 is how sort of ridiculous war is and how it's sort of you have all these people killing themselves over based um, diplomatic decisions made by people who are really not involved in the war itself, right? Most of the time. Couple words here: critique, bureaucracy, and debilitating. First, critique. What is a critique? Anybody? Russell.
To not criticize. I can't use the word criticize. To say all the negative things about, like,
About something.
yeah, about something.
Yeah, yeah, and yes, it is a critique is another the root word here is or is it the root word? I think I'm not too sure the root word, but criticism, yes. To critique someone is to provide criticism of someone or something, right? And which is to, yes, point out the flaws or mistakes or errors or ways to improve. Bureaucracy, what does that mean?
I think I know. Maybe.
Yes,
I think I
Jeff,
might know.
Jeff, go for it.
I think it's the process, like to like when someone holds a job, maybe, because like I think if like I feel like if a country has a lot of bureaucracy, isn't it hard to like get rid of and like fire workers?
The country has a lot of bureaucracy. Okay, it's not, no, okay. I like how you use your sort of real life, you connected it to stuff you've probably heard in real life. But no, it's not related to that's not the direct meaning, no. Bureaucracy just means, some sort of system of government, right? It's relating to the system of government. So if they say, oh, they made a bureaucratic decision to remove the gymnasium from the school, it means there was some sort of governing body, which would probably be in the school, it'd be, the principal, vice principal, superintendent. They discussed this, looked at all the options and made this decision. So that's sort of a bureaucratic decision, right? So any sort of government would be a bureaucratic decision, and a bureaucracy is some sort of system of government as well. Debilitating. What's the root word of debilitating, firstly? Anybody? Have a guess.
Bill?
Yeah. Oh, Samuel, what did you say?
Bill?
Bill? Not quite, not quite. Xiaoya?
I'm pretty sure debilitating means like how do I explain this? I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, do you have a guess on what the root word is?
I don't even know.
That's okay. So I would say the root word here is debilitate.
Debilitate. That's what I was thinking.
There you go. That was
I know
Russell.
what the word means, I just don't know how to explain it.
But
Fair.
shouldn't it like debilitate, like, if it's like something take, like there's a root word in that, like, oh damn, I'm gonna search it up.
Okay. If that is the case, then Samuel was right because I
It's
said
debilis, the Latin word for weak, apparently.
okay.
Debilis,
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
okay. So like it makes you really weak.
debilis,
All right. You guys got
debilis.
me. But in this case, yes, debilitating means weakening. Okay. So a debilitating neurological disorder means it is making him weaker, maybe making him slower and all of that. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, let's move on to the quote of the day. Okay, so we have a full class, and I did also mention I want full I want everyone to respond. So I'm gonna have to cut that time a bit. Um, quote of the day. He knew everything there was to know about literature, except how to enjoy it. What can you learn from this quote? That's very straightforward. What can you learn from this quote? Maybe, okay, fine. Maybe how does it relate to your life? 3 sentences minimum, 3 minutes. All right. Starting the timer.
That
Trump's.
wasn't my answer. Don't take that into account.
Okay, okay, sounds good. I've never. Did you actually read Trump's books?
I just seen like posts about them, and I read like one chapter of like one of Trump's books because my mom has a bunch of Trump's books for some reason, and they're
Okay.
kind of boring. They're very boring.
Wow. That's wow.
About his own life.
The timer has started, by the way. So,
They're about like making money and stuff, and they're so boring. And they're like kind of state the obvious.
Uh,
all right, all right, all right. There's a few seconds left, but we have some responses. So let's just get into it. So how this works, guys, if you're not done yet, that's totally fine. Continue writing, or just submit. Even if it's not finished, you can submit and just verbally tell me what you were gonna add, right? Um, but it's better to submit something even a little bit late or not complete rather than not submit anything at all. Samuel, would you like to start us off?
The quote. Oh, by the way, I just realized that I put the quote wrong. So,
That's fine. That's fine.
the quote, "He knew everything about literature except how to enjoy it," means he have achieved a lot of success but wasn't happy with himself in the end. There is no meaning of getting into Harvard or being the best athlete if you're not satisfied with the end result. Do the things you need to be happy.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So great. Firstly, I want to point out, I don't even think you were there for our quotations lesson a few weeks ago, but perfect punctuation here. And outside the quote, inside the quote. Perfect. Let me put that in green because I love proper punctuation. Means he have it. So here we could say he had achieved, or you could even just actually get rid of it. Just say he achieved a lot of success. A lot of success. It just feels a little too informal. I'm going to say he achieved great success. Okay, so the only reason is it just feels a little too informal. This is not grammatically incorrect at all. This is totally fine. But I just think we can improve it, right? He achieved great success, but wasn't happy with himself in the end. And I love how you put no comma here. This is a big mistake, is often made. Great. There's no meaning of getting to Harvard or being the best athlete if you're not satisfied with the end result. Okay, so only thing here, this comma needs to be removed. Okay, so the reason is, think of this as what I like to say, a list of 2 items. So it's not, if you put a comma before an or, it implies this left half is an independent sentence and this right half is an independent sentence, but it's not the case, right? You're just saying there's no meaning of getting into Harvard or being the best athlete. This all getting into Harvard or being the best athlete, that's all one, let's say, logical item. So the meaning of getting to Harvard or best athlete if you're not satisfied with the end result. And this is fine. And you didn't put a comma here. Perfect. Do the things you need to be happy. Great. And this is sort of like offset, talking directly to the reader, which is me in this case. Great job, Samuel. Great job, Samuel. I think Jeffrey said Bet Samuel is his favorite student now. Jeffrey said that because I love proper punctuation in quotes because it is a very common mistake. So good job. All right, Jeffrey, would you like to read yours?
I would not like to read mine, but I'll still read it. This quote means that you can read everything, but if you don't know how to enjoy it, then there was no point. The real treasure of reading should be for enjoyment.
This is awesome. The real treasure of reading should be the enjoyment, because you're saying the treasure is the enjoyment. The treasure is not for the enjoyment. This quote means that you can read everything, but if you don't know how to enjoy it, then there's no point. So you can read everything.
Is this supposed to be anything or everything?
You can read. No, he meant to say everything.
Okay.
But if you don't know how to enjoy it. Okay, so there's definitely needs to be a comma here. Because there is a if statement here, right? If you don't know how to enjoy it, then there is no point. Everything, but then okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, good job, Jeffrey. Russell, would you like to read yours?
I think that this quote is referring to how being knowledgeable on a subject intellectually doesn't mean you can experience it emotionally. This relates to my life because what? Why is it wrong? Oh, is there a period after the I? Or or
Yep.
okay. This relates to my life because AI can get tons of information off the internet, but lacks the sentience to feel it.
Awesome. Awesome. Firstly, I want to add for the new students, see how like Russell just made some changes verbally. Yeah, then I won't mark it, right? Because I won't add any crosses or highlights because he clearly just adjusted it live. So you could always do that. Keep that in mind. Okay, so the thing that's close referring to how being knowledgeable on a subject intellectually doesn't mean you can experience it emotionally. Very good. I love that. Intellectually and emotionally, you're highlighting that, reiterating the quote. This alone is awesome. And then this is a very good connection to reality, right? You can have a full conversation with you can have a full conversation with ChatGPT, but
E-
yeah, you won't feel anything. Or sorry, it won't feel like you're talking to anyone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jaya.
This quote tells people that. Give me. Oh wait, can you give me a second?
Mhm. Oh,
Sorry. This quote tells people that even if you're really good at something, it doesn't mean that you like it. It tells you that you should follow your passions instead of your strengths. For example, if you're really good at math but you want to be a writer when you grow up, you shouldn't pick math just because you were good at it. This is because you might not enjoy it as much as writing. This is how I interpret the quote.
awesome. This quote is really good. If you really doesn't mean that you like it. Great punctuation tells you that you should follow your passions instead of your strengths. Grades, for example. If you are really good at math, but you want to be a writer when you grow up, you want to be a writer. You want to be a writer. If you are really good at math, you shouldn't just pick math because so you actually don't need this comma. I know it feels like you are okay, so when you have situations with the coordinating clause and a comma, okay, um, then a quick way to see if you need a comma there and if that whole situation, a coordinating clause and a comma is correct, is read the right half and the left half alone. Okay. So, but you want to be a writer when you grow up, you shouldn't pick math just because you're good at it. But you want to be a writer when you grow up, there's missing context. And if you look at this left half, for example, if you're really good at math, those both are not complete thoughts, complete sentences. Therefore, you should then know right here that this comma is not necessary. Okay. And does anyone here, who here knows what a coordinating conjunction is? Raise your hand. Because
I've heard of it.
okay.
I've
Because
heard of it, but I don't know what it means.
I
okay.
don't know
But I
that,
kind of think I know what it
but I think it's like similar to independent and dependent clauses, but I don't know the exact definition.
Okay, it is related to it, and I've said it a million times in this class, but I guess I realized I don't really go into the definition every time because I just say it and then think everyone knows it, but everyone forgets. So it's totally fine. We'll go over it in a bit.
What is
Okay, this is how I interpret the quote. Okay, Joe, you don't even need to add this part, but this is fine. For example, if you were to, but you shouldn't just pick math, you're good. It's because you might not enjoy it as much as reading. Great. Sorry, as writing. Awesome. Yes. Strengths and things you enjoy can be totally different things, right? Yes, generally speaking, most people enjoy what they are strong at, but not always the case. Okay, let's see. We have Annabelle. James left. Do we have everyone responding? No, we're missing Derek. Derek, please submit something. Okay, Annabelle, would you like to read your response?
This quote means that person is very knowledgeable, but he doesn't enjoy it. However, it doesn't matter if you know everything. You should just do what will make you happy. Overall, the most important thing should be having fun.
Awesome. So this quote means that a person is okay. So a person is very knowledgeable, but he doesn't enjoy it. Okay, you're referring to the person. You're saying a person because you don't know who the he is in this quote. So what I would do is this quote means that a person, you would have to give more context. So you could approach it one way. You could say a person in the book Catch-22 is very knowledgeable on a subject, but he doesn't enjoy it. So you can add all that context and then this works. You could also just take it more broadly. This means that a person can be very knowledgeable on something, but he doesn't have to enjoy it. So you could do it both ways. You could say specific to Catch-22, or you could say it generally. But this either way, this needs to be worked on. This needs to be changed. Because it's too vague. However, it doesn't matter if you know everything. You should just do what will make you happy. However, it doesn't matter if you know everything. Again, I would say we need to add a subject, right? Or say everything about something or everything about a subject. Because you should still do or everything about a job, whatever. You should still do what will make you happy, which is something else, right? Okay. Overall, the most important thing should be having fun. Awesome. Again, I would say I would recommend the most important thing about what, right? Maybe about life or about a hobby or about your day-to-day. It would just be good to have some context here, which actually would probably make most sense to just include in the beginning, and then everything else will follow and be more clear afterwards, right? Okay, James, would you like to read yours?
I just realized I made a mistake because
fine.
I wrote something, but I guess sure. I can relate to this quote when I know how to do something extremely good, except when I do it, I find what I'm doing extremely boring and I find it impossible to enjoy. Sometimes when I play video games, I find myself wanting to do something else, no matter how good I am at the game. And I just rewrote the thing I just wrote. And then he knew everything about literature except how to enjoy it.
Awesome. Okay. He knew everything about literature. Okay, so we're saying we want to get rid of these parts, right? Sometimes I want to do something else. Sometimes when I play videos. Yeah, okay, because this part is repeating this part right here. So I'm just gonna put this in a highlight here. What should be the color for repeating something? Let's pick this one. Okay, I can relate to this quote and I know how to do something. This quote when I know how to do something extremely well. Except when I do it, I find what I am doing extremely boring and find it extremely impossible to enjoy it. Okay, so we just need to change up some wording here. I can relate this code when I know how to do something extremely well. That when I do it, I would just clear this and say find it boring. Because you've already stated the subject pretty clearly, right? I find it boring and find it and extremely boring, and you could even say you find it boring and impossible to enjoy. And you don't have to say it again because the subject is clear here, right? Sometimes when I play video games, if I was no matter how good I am at the game. Yep. And I also I agree with you. I am the world's best FIFA player of all time. Don't question it. Just believe what I say. Okay, great job, James. And does everyone know what FIFA is here? The video game?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Me too.
Okay, good. Just I don't know. Some people don't play soccer or know FIFA. Okay, Annabelle says no. Fair enough. Annabelle, FIFA is just a soccer video game. Okay, vocab of the day. Some of these words were already discussed in the author and book of the day. So who wants to read this one? Let's get Derek. Derek, I need some participation. This was a direct request from Dr. Joe. He says some people are not participating. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Is he even here?
I'm not sure. Okay. Let's get who hasn't participated yet? All right, let's get Annabelle. Annabelle, would you like to read this one?
Satirize, verb to mock or criticize using humor, irony, or exaggeration. Joseph Heller satirized military bureaucracy in Catch-22. Do I read all of them?
Oh, yes, all of them. Sorry.
Paradoxical, adjective, seemingly self-contradictory but true, but possibly true. The paradoxical nature of a catch-22 means there's no way to win. Bureaucratic, adjective, related to a rigid and complex systems of rules and procedures. The bureaucratic red tape made it nearly impossible to get approval. Labyrinth, adjective, extremely complex and difficult to follow. The labyrinth bureaucracy in the novel leaves characters feeling trapped. Surreal, adjective, having a dreamlike, bizarre, or unreal quality. The surreal humor in Catch-22 makes the horrors of war seem ridiculous.
Awesome. Thank you for reading that, Annabelle. So, surreal is pretty common. Raise your hand if you've heard of surreal before.
B.
Okay, good. Let's see lots of hands raised. Satirize. Raise your hand if you've seen this before. Okay, just Russell. So satirize, yeah, if you're making fun of anything, you're satirizing it, right? Or if they're saying, oh, this is comedic, you could say it's satirical, right? But the difference is satirize and satirical is usually meant to make fun of something specifically, and comedic can just be funny for the sake of being funny, right? Paradoxical, when two things seem like they don't make sense together. Russell?
Oh, I was just raising my hand for I know what it means, except
Oh,
for the third one and the fourth one that I don't know how to pronounce.
oh, that's so this is bureaucratic, related to rigid and complex system of rules and procedures, right? So bureaucratic when like we say there's a bureaucratic decision, or it was, oh, I want to build this house, but there's a lot of bureaucracy involved. It means there's so many rules and there's so many governing bodies and uh, system of government that has to make decisions, and it just gets tricky, right? And this one is actually not labyrinth. This one is labyrinthine. So it's an adjective. A labyrinth is a noun, and labyrinthine is the sort of adjective form of it, right? Extremely complex and difficult to follow. Okay. So, for the new students here, what happened was we used to do make a paragraph with these words. Now everyone has the class has protested against that. And now I'm giving you the choice. You can make one sentence with all of the words and they have to be used correctly and in a manner where, you know, it makes sense. Or you can make just one short paragraph with all the words.
Should I do another Brandon ad?
I don't know what that means.
Should I do another Brandon ad? Let's go, Brandon.
Sure. It's free choice here, okay? I run this class like a democracy. Actually, no, it's like a secret dictatorship. If you guys say things that I don't like, then I will shut you down. Okay, so 4 minutes is too long. Let's do 3 minutes. Okay, so make one sentence with all the words or one short paragraph. All right, starting, and I want everyone involved. I want everybody participating and submitting something. 3 minutes, that should be fine. Okay, starting the timer now. All right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. So let's start from the top. Okay, So we got some sentences in here. Russell, start us off.
Bob had a surreal dream where he paradoxically satirized the U.S. government's labyrinthine and bureaucratic rules.
Okay. He had a surreal dream where he paradoxically satirized. Okay, I will have to I will have to look up the pronunciation. The U.S. government's labyrinthine and bureaucratic rules. So here's the problem. I don't see the paradox in the actual sentence, unless someone can explain it to me right now. Otherwise, this would be technically incorrect. Or incorrect meaning it doesn't make sense, but the word is grammatically correct. Context-wise, it doesn't make sense, right? So this is what I meant by it has to be used correctly. But what I will say is very close. If you said maybe Bob had Bob who was a sitting or who is a sitting president or is a lawmaker that had a surreal dream where he satirized the US government, then it would, yeah,
Bob the lawyer had a
Bob.
real dream.
I would still say lawyer.
Oh.
The lawyers kind of they work within the law and they try and
Bob the lawmaker.
yeah, I would say
Okay.
if you said lawmaker or president, prime minister, or someone who is involved in making the U.S. government this way, then it would make sense.
Bob the Supreme Court Justice.
There you go. There you go. James.
I read it.
Yep,
Oh, I accidentally forgot to add bureaucratic, but okay, anyways.
that's
Jimmy
fine.
satirized his crew while also making his labyrinthine orders leave his crew feel miserable. The surreal order left his crew in wonder as they thought it was paradoxical and impossible.
Awesome. The surreal order left his crew in wonder as they thought it was paradoxical and impossible. Awesome. Okay. While satirized crew while also making his labyrinthine order. So this is past tense, right? So now we have to go. Leaving his crew feeling miserable. The surreal order left his crew in wonder and I would say just add would make more sense is to say making his surreal labyrinthine orders, leaving his crew thinking that the demands were paradoxical, right? Because this is sort of then kind of contradicts it a little bit. You said his crew was left in wonder and they were feeling miserable. You could say they were feeling both, but it just doesn't really make sense to have those two sentences next to each other when the meaning is so close to each other, right? Left his crew wonder as they thought it was paradoxical and impossible. Grammatically, this is technically correct, but logically, it would make more sense to just combine it. Awesome. Okay. Xiaoya, would you like to read yours?
George's labyrinthine, paradoxical, and bureaucratic laws for the city made the people become I don't know how to say that.
Satirized.
Satirized and called him surreal.
And call them. Okay, so again, I would say maybe I never specify this clearly. I don't think this is kind of I guess maybe it's not. George's labyrinthine paradox.
Is that cheating? Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to put surreal in it.
I'm wondering if it's cheating, but let me see if it is it used correctly.
Wait, can you write? I wrote a sentence with the words
No,
labyrinth.
That's cheating. That is cheating. Many people
What if
become
I wrote Bob was labyrinthine, paradoxical, and bureaucratic, saturnized, and surreal?
no. So that's also I need to basically understand the meaning of the words, or they have to be used with purpose even in the one sentence, right? They can't just be shoehorned in there. And God, may the people become satirized. So you can't really, they themselves can't become satirized for they can't, okay, let's, like, someone can become satirized. They do something so silly and they get made fun of a lot. And there's comics about them. There's jokes about them, whatever. That would say they're becoming satirized. In here, may the people become satirized and called him surreal. This part doesn't make sense. So you could say the people then satirized George and called him surreal. But they themselves can't become satirized. Satirized. Oh man, that sounds so awkward. Annabelle, would you like to read yours?
The movie satirized the paradoxical bureaucratic rules of the surreal and labyrinthine government, making everything seem really strange and confusing.
Awesome, great. What I would actually do here, the only thing I would do here is this is all great. I would take out surreal and switch it with strange, or even just add it here. Because surreal just means amazing. It kind of just means shocking, amazing. It doesn't really, all it is it's telling us about your reaction. It's not really describing anything. So I would just take that out of here and fill it in with other words that are describing the reaction to something, right? Making everything seem, now you're referring to your reaction, really strange is how you feel, confusing is how you feel, and surreal is how you feel. Surreal, government being surreal doesn't really tell us much. So that's why I just think logically it'd make more sense over here. But besides that, used all the words were used well. Great. Samuel, would you like to read yours?
The labyrinth laws made the whole country surreal. The bureaucracy was not going well. Citizens were satirizing the government and their rules. Paradoxically, they wanted the country under control, but they brought more chaos.
Okay. The labyrinthine laws made the whole country, I would say, feel surreal, right? Surreal is your reaction to something. It is not it's not realistically, when you think about it, it's not a description of something. The bureaucracy was not going well. Citizens were satirizing the government and their rules. Okay, so this is a full sentence. This is a full sentence. So this is a comma splice, separating two independent clauses with just a comma. There are many different ways to fix this. I'll just put a semicolon here, just so we get some exposure to semicolons. Paradoxically, they wanted the country under control, but they brought more chaos. Awesome. They wanted the country under control, but they brought more chaos. So I would actually, two independent sentences, you could put a comma there. I would actually also get rid of paradoxically over and put it over here. Reason being, they wanted the country under control is not paradoxical. The second part after you give the context is what's paradoxical. Or if you give the context first, then say paradoxically, it makes sense. But just at the beginning doesn't make sense. Unless you could start a sentence with paradoxically if the sentence before or the paragraph before was saying something that is the opposite of the paragraph after. But that's not the case here. And so this would actually have to just go here. but you could even do comma paradoxically like this. Okay. Okay, we have two more. Derek and okay, Derek's here. And Jeff. Jeff, this is extremely long. But that's fine.
I made it extremely long on purpose. I need to sell Trump to you.
Okay. All right, Derek, would you like to read yours?
Derek isn't in here.
But Derek just submitted this.
Oh, I lied. He is in here. Sorry.
Okay,
He is in
that's
here.
fine. I'll read Derek's after completing the surreal bureaucratic math homework, which seemed paradoxical but labyrinthine to me. I was satirized after getting everything wrong. Okay. Period there. Which seemed paradoxical and labyrinthine. They're not really, in this case, wouldn't make sense to say they're opposing adjectives, right? They could sort of they work together. Okay. Jeffrey, would you like to read yours? I'm scared of you reading yours.
Good. Okay. Vote for Trump 2028 as Republicans in the government have successfully destroyed bureaucratic rule to allow Trump to run for a labyrinth third term. So now we will have a totally not rigged election in Trump's favor. Our first promise is to paradoxically let Trump run infinitely. At the Trump administration, we will continue appeasing dictators, taking over our allies, and increasing inflation so that eggs cost $20.99. All your surreal dreams will come true, like the end of Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. So go out and vote Trump or you'll be executed. This ad was paid for by President Elon Musk. I mean President Trump.
Okay. Paid. Okay, a couple of things. Paid. We'll do that here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just get rid of this so I don't get in trouble. I don't know, some parents don't like, some parents do not like these political statements in our classes. And then I get a message from Dr. Joe later saying, hey, don't let Jeffrey say that. So we'll see. I didn't get a message for your last message, your last class, Jeffrey. So that's good. Okay. At the Trump administration, you need to put a comma here. I love how I actually treat this like a regular, response and actually judge the grammar. So now we will have totally not rigged election. Okay, so obviously you shouldn't say things like this, not rigged instead of saying we will have a totally clean election. But what we're trying, I see what you're trying to say here. You're trying to, it's intentional. That's fine. Trump's, okay. First promise to paradox. Okay. Awesome. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Go out and vote. Awesome. Okay. Let's keep going. So, it's going to be a little bit of reading here. So, I just found a list of some common comma abuse cases. So, these numberings don't really mean anything. There you go. Can I have a volunteer reader? Who hasn't read in a while? Let's get James. James, would you like to read this one?
The entire slide.
Yep.
Commas in wrong places can break a sentence into illogical segments or confuse readers with unnecessary or unexpected pauses. 1. Don't use a comma to separate the subject from the verb. Incorrect. An 18-year-old in California is now considered an adult. Incorrect. The most important attribute of a ball player. is quick reflex actions. 2. Don't put a comma between the two verbs or verb phrases in a compound predicate. Incorrect. We laid out our music and snacks and began to study. Incorrect. I turned a corner and ran smack into a patrol car.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So, does anybody maybe have any questions here? Because this might be straightforward for some of you. Maybe it's confusing for some of you. I do see a lot of comma abuses in this class. Any questions? No? Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. There's just another one. 4 and 5. Who hasn't read in a while? Who hasn't read in a while? Samuel, can you read this one?
Wait, like the whole page?
Always the whole page.
Don't put a comma between the two nouns, noun phrases, or noun clauses in a compound subject or compound object. Incorrect. Compound subject. The music teacher from your high school and the football coach from mine are married. Incorrect. Compound object. Jeff told me that the job was still available and that the manager wanted to interview me. Don't put a comma after the main clause when a dependent subordinate clause follows it, except for cases of extreme contrast. Incorrect. The cat scratched at the door while I was eating. Correct. She was still quite upset, although she had won the Oscar. This comma use is correct because it is an example of extreme contrast.
Awesome. Okay. So this is a very tricky situation. I recommend most of you do not attempt it in this class. It's totally fine. But when you're writing for maybe a paper that's graded in school or something like that, try and avoid it for now until you really understand or really have a good feel of what is considered an extreme case, right? And informal writing, I would say just avoid it altogether because there are some people who read formal papers don't want this kind of punctuation, right? Where it's subjective on whether it's worthy of a comma or not. Formal writing, you want to avoid situations like that altogether. Yes, I see a lot of students mess this up all the time. And so that's why it's fine to mess things up in this class, because then we can correct it and learn. But, I don't want you guys doing like a important paper to get into school or get into some elite school and you guys use this and they grade you poorly for it, right? Okay, so that I don't have an activity attached to this. This was just a heads up because I do see a lot of I missed number 3. Okay, anyways, because I do see a lot of comma abuse in this class. Okay, so now let's move on to our article of the day. Let's get Jaoya to start us off first. I'll read the title. California bill seeks age minimum on anti-aging skincare products. Revamped legislation will require anyone purchasing the products to provide proof that they are 18 or older. Dun dun. Anyone here has
Why?
ever
Why?
More kids are sad now in California.
More kids are sad in California? Is that what you said?
Sephora kids are sad in California.
Oh, Sephora kids. Sephora.
Why would you? What? It doesn't make.
That's stupid.
Why would you do an age minimum on anti-aging skin?
Yeah, that would.
Sephora kids are now like crying.
I
and
know that would
shaking in
make
their bed.
the entire makeup economy of the world of the U.S. crash. Ulta and Sephora would run out of money.
Kids are gonna get skin cancer.
Well, I mean, anti-aging.
They're gonna get skin cancer.
The
The
poor
poor
kids.
kids cannot get the drunk elephant anymore.
Yeah,
For a
and
good
they're
cause.
gonna run out of bubble. Their bubble
Yeah. Oh my
skincare.
god, they're gonna run a bubble.
What's bubble?
I
Worst
don't even know what
nightmare.
bubble is, but they're gonna run out of it. They're gonna run out of it, and that's gonna
Oh
be
my
very
god, I already
sad.
predicted it.
Okay. You guys are speaking a different language right now.
I know we are. You're a boomer.
I'm not a
Boomer.
boomer. Don't say
Yes, you
that.
You're
Okay.
so funny.
When you sleep.
Jaya.
In
Jaya.
February of last year, as videos of tweens racing to Sephora, I knew it, were beautifully packaged creams and serums that contained anti-aging chemicals flooded TikTok. A legislator in California tried to end that trend by introducing a bill that would stop stores from selling those products. It failed. Of course it did. Now, even though the chatter about tweens using these products has quieted down, the same legislator has reintroduced the bill with a few tweaks. The Assembly bill, which will receive a formal name on Tuesday, would make it illegal for companies to sell over-the-counter anti-aging products to shoppers under 18 years old. It would cover products with ingredients like vitamin A and its derivatives, including retinoids, or retinol. It would also cover cosmetic products that have alpha hydroxy acids, including glycolic acid, ascorbic acid, and citric acid. Torla Vidya, I think I said it wrong, a dermatologist in New York City, says he regularly sees young patients seeking products that are geared towards anti-aging or exfoliating, many of which contain ingredients listed in the bill. These are products that can be great for a different age range, Dr. Vidya said, but for young kids, it can actually wreak havoc on their skin. She says the products, when used on juvenile skin, could cause redness, itching, and irritation.
Awesome. Okay, so here you go. This is one of the reasons it's causing issues for young skin. Okay. Can I get Annabelle, can you read this slide?
If passed, a law in California would require stores to verify the buyer's age and identity through messages such as checking a driver license or state-issued ID. The bill could have national implications because California is a major consumer market. It is the fifth largest economy in the world, and companies that do business in California often have their operations influenced by the state's standards. The legislator introducing the revamped bill is Assemblyman Alex Lee, a Democrat who represents a district that covers Alameda and Santa Clara counties in the San Francisco Bay Area. The new legislation comes with some adjustments to last year's bill, AB 2491, which would have applied to children under 13. The Personal Care Products Council, a cosmetics industry group, opposed that bill, saying that while it was well-intentioned, it fell short on addressing the problem. Instead, the lobbying group said the bill created restrictions so complicated that compliance or enforcement would be largely impossible. The group also said the issue was complicated because of the off-limit ingredients were included in basic products like sunscreens and moisturizers.
Awesome. Thanks for reading that, Annabelle. So this is a good argument, I will say, that the lobbying group has.
The sunscreen I use in summer has anti-aging.
Well, not anti-aging, right? It has some of these products, like it might have I think
It literally says face anti-aging sunscreen.
where does it say that?
No, like on my sunscreen bottle.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, well, that's the difference, right? Some sunscreens may have and be marketed towards anti-aging, but most sunscreens don't. But here's the thing, some of the ingredients that they want to ban specifically are in sunscreens and moisturizers that are geared towards everyone. So banning those could be a problem.
My lotion has anti-aging things. It says anti-aging lotion.
Oh, huh, that's weird.
But good thing I'm not in California.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know if this bill passed, right? I don't even know if it's worked. Anyways, who read last, James or Samuel?
I did.
Okay, so then let's get James. James, would you like to read this one?
California bills. Mr. Lee said in an interview that many of those criticisms were specious and not genuine. In the new version of the bill, Mr. Lee said he addressed one criticism he felt was valid: the complication of how to determine a child's age, because younger tweens and teens do not often carry ID. To account for that, he raised the minimum age to 18. We already verify age at movie theaters and M-rated games, Mr. Lee said. The industry can self-police, but they don't want to self-police either. So I'm like, well, I'll give you a model right here. Sephora and Ulta have said that they trained their staff on how to educate young shoppers about the appropriate products they need. Mr. Lee said that the training amounted to soft education and that he believed manufacturers and retailers in beauty industry needed to do more, especially given that a sizable percentage of the industry sales come from children. Skincare spending by Gen Alpha, the cohort just behind Gen Z, doubled compared to all average buyers from 2022 to 2023, according to a study conducted by NIQ. They're very reluctant to do anything to harm their sales, Mr. Lee said of the beauty industry.
Awesome. Okay. All right. If it also if anyone has any questions, let me know. Okay, and this last one, let's get any volunteers.
Me.
Okay, Jeffrey, go for it.
Dr. Vaidya, the dermatologist, said she regularly, oh my God, interacts with tweens and teens, clamoring for anti-aging products. Even though it's out of the headlines, it's definitely something that's still relevant to my practice and also for my family members, she said, adding that her nieces had begun to ask her about products containing active ingredients. She was skeptical about a ban. She was skeptical a ban could fully keep these products away from children, but hoped increased education about them would help. When it comes to enforcement, there are other ways that children could get these products, including parents purchasing them for their child. Since Mr. Lee's previous bill failed last spring, other states have sought to address the phenomenon of young children purchasing skincare aimed for adults. In November, the Office of Connecticut's Attorney General sent a letter to Sephora about its marketing towards young children and cautioned parents about the harm that anti-aging skincare products could have on children. It's not yet clear what, if any, traction a bill like this could have on a national level, but Mr. Lee is hopeful. If it is to pass, I really think it would change the business practice for the whole country, he said, as has happened many times when we have unsafe chemical bans of products.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's start here with the big question. Let's do 6 minutes. All right. 6 minutes. And remember, when you're arguing something, you want to address the opposite sides of like the opposite side's opinion or stance, right? That's the strongest way to do it. So I'm gonna give you guys 6 minutes, and this will probably we'll see how much time we have after this one. But okay, 6 minutes starting now. Everyone has to respond. All right, all right, all right. Time's up. Let's see what you guys came up with. All right, Samuel, would you like to read yours first?
There should not be a limit for anti-aging products because it's not the company's job to be accountable for your decisions. Although a fair rule would be to have an adult approve the purchase. Your guardians are supposed to take care of your health and spending. It's not the responsibility of the company.
Awesome. That's a good compromise there. I like that. You could have, there's no age minimum for purchasing it, but you need to have a parent or guardian approval while purchasing it, which kind of, yeah, it's good. I really like that solution there, Samuel. That kind of gets, it gets the message across while still being effective at the end goal. Good. Okay, let me just double check. There should not be an limit for because it's not the company's job to be accountable. Although fair rule would we could say B would be to have an adult approve the purchase. Also, a better contrast word here or transition word here would say however. Yeah, we'll just change that. We'll add that here too. Let's just make it a bit better. Regarding security of your health and spending, it's not the responsibility. Okay, awesome. Good stuff. Jeffrey.
Okay. Okay. Should I start?
Yep.
This bill sucks and it infringes on freedom of expression and choice. This would be limiting the already little freedom we have in California. Also, enacting this law would hurt the beauty industry, and brands like Sephora and Ulta could lose millions of dollars from this. Another problem is just like underage drinking, this law would be almost impossible to enforce. Logistically, it would be a waste of time for police and employees to enforce this law. The opposing side might say that it does not benefit, but actually hurt minor skin. But how does that affect them? That is why this law is dumb and impossible to enforce.
Okay, so this bill sucks and it infringes on the freedom of expression and choices, limiting little freedom. The already little freedom we have in California. So I would say this is just sort of repeating. Also enacting this law will hurt the beauty industry and brands like Sephora. And so this is a separate point. It could hurt the beauty industry and these specific brands could lose millions of dollars from this. You could say this would hurt the beauty industry such as, right, this could hurt the beauty industry. For example, Sephora and Ulta could lose millions of dollars from this. Another problem is just like underage drinking. This law would be impossible to enforce. So I would say put a comma here too. Logistically, comma, this would be a waste of time for police and employees to enforce this law. The opposing side might say it does not benefit, but actually hurt minor skin. But how does that affect them? How does that? Okay, so this part needs to be more clear. The opposing side might say that the anti-aging skin products will not hurt the minor skin, or this is a sort of a weak representation of the opposing side. And also it doesn't quite make sense, right? How does that affect them? Instead of saying that, asking a rhetorical question, you should say, but that doesn't affect them negatively, right? You have to be sort of clear on what you're trying to say. You can't just leave it up to like a rhetorical question. Okay, let's see what we have. All right, let's get Xiaoya, then James next. All right, Xiaoya, would you like to read yours?
I don't agree with the proposed bill. This is because there might be some kids or teenagers that have a medical condition and need those products to improve their skin. This prevents them from helping their skin and may lead to even bigger problems. It also might prevent teens or kids from getting simple lotions and sunscreens because they might contain anti-aging ingredients.
This is awesome, Xiaoya. It is very, very clear. Every point made perfect sense. And I don't think you wasted a single word. This is awesome. Great job, Xiaoya. I read this twice as we were going through it. I found no issues. This prevents them from helping their skin and may lead to even bigger problems. It also might prevent. Great. Great. This is I would say this is almost perfect. I will never say anything's perfect because nothing can be perfect in writing. Sorry. Okay, James, would you like to read yours?
Okay. I personally don't care about anti-aging products, but if I had to choose, I would choose to have an age limit for the products. The fact that anti-aging skin care products can harm children's skin greatly influenced my decision on whether it should be banned or not. It would be horrible for people to realize that something bad has happened to your skin just because you bought an anti-aging skincare product. I think that nobody needs anti-aging skincare products, but if it was necessary, an age minimum would be good. However, I think the ban won't work because too many people would be against the bill and would like to get anti-aging skin care products, no matter how young they are. I messed up on the last part.
Nice correction. Okay, I personally, but if I had to choose, I would choose to have an Asian for product if I can harm children's skin greatly influence whether banned. It would be horrible for people to realize this. Something bad has happened to your skin. Okay, so I would say to improve this greatly, take out this part. Say it would be horrible for people to realize something bad has happened to your skin just because you bought not just an anti-age skin product. I would say to make this more logically cohesive, take a step back and say, just because you bought a product that you didn't need when you were a child or a kid or a teen, right? So you're sort of restructuring or reframing the point as being these are products that people are buying unknowingly as to what effect they will have on them, right? And that's sort of the major argument about this. I think that nobody needs anti-aging skincare products, but if it was necessary, an age minimum would be good. However, I think the ban won't work because awesome, great points. You're pro ban, but you don't think it'll work. Awesome. Yeah, this would be my only change there. Okay. Let's see. We have Russell and Annabelle that's left. Okay, Russell, would you like to read yours?
My reaction to this bill is that this is ridiculous and almost laughable. First of all, this would not work at all because the people who actually care about their skin wouldn't buy it in the first place, and the people who dyingly need it would just ask an elder to buy it. It's like the speed limit scenario. People with common sense will drive at a reasonable speed even without limits, but the crazy people still won't follow the rules with the limits. Secondly, if you're going to ban products with a hint of anti-aging chemicals, why don't you ban Skittles first and other unhealthy foods? Skittles food dye contains titanium dioxide among many other toxic food coloring chemicals which you directly consume. As long as Skittles remains legal, ain't no way they're banning my sunscreen.
Okay. Informal, but okay, we'll live with that. Um, this is a funny argument as well. But a good argument nonetheless, right? Misdirected anger. My reaction is laughable. And
Wait, Skittles is like one of my favorite candies.
I love sour Skittles. That's one of my favorite candies.
Oh no, I exposed the truth. Causes brain damage.
Da-da. Okay, interesting. Good points. Good points all around. So again, this is informal, so I'm leaving it, but shouldn't really. Okay, if you want to add another sentence or something that's just for us, like as a class, then I'm gonna ask that you do it in like something else, like these curly braces or something, just so we know. Okay, but because sometimes people actually write sentences with the regular brackets, and it's just supposed to be part of the uh, response. So in this case, like I'm not too sure if you mean for this to be part of the response or really just for us, like just a anecdote. Um, if it's just an anecdote for us as a class, then put it in something else. If it's part of the response, then keep it in this. Okay, we'll add that rule from now on.
Doesn't really matter if you enforce it or not. The people who like actually look at the news and stuff and they read about I don't know, health hacks or something,
Mhm.
they won't buy it in the first place. But the people who actually need it will just ask someone else to buy it.
That's
So
true.
like,
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Like one half, it's like I don't know.
This is a fair point.
normal people won't even like you're not gonna drive at 100 miles per hour on a local road. But like the crazy people still won't follow the rules even with the limits.
Okay, what
Yeah.
I will counter that a little bit and say that well, if you put this rule in that the parent has to go in and approve it, then I guarantee you, a lot of parents will just think that, oh, there must be a reason that these are banned. Like this is probably not good. I'm not going to really look into this, but I'm not letting you get it.
No, but like some American parents are like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's just like
There will
every day.
always be some parents who allow anything and everything, right? But the idea of laws is it's not supposed to work for everyone. It's supposed to be a catch as many problems as you can kind of thing. No law is gonna work for everyone. So
But I feel like all American parents are like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, they can just use it. Like I don't really care what happens.
yeah, in those situations, obviously, yeah, it wouldn't work. But it I think it would overwhelmingly decrease the number of people, number of kids accessing these these
No, it won't because the Sephora kids everywhere around the United States will just flee to Sephora.
I'm not familiar with or kid stuff, but okay,
If it's in California, if it's only in California, then it's not going to affect the entire US at all because all the other people in the 49 states that are Sephora kids will flee to Sephora stores.
In in other countries, Skittles are actually banned. And
Oh,
so is
Bro, Skittles are like one of my favorite,
okay.
like top 10 favorite
I'm
candies.
sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you guys off. We're getting close to the end of class or past the end. I just want to go through Annabelle's first.
In my opinion, this bill doesn't think about how it will affect people. I don't think there needs to be an age limit for purchasing anti-aging skincare products. People should be free to buy what they want and they can take care of themselves. Although some people say the chemicals in the products are dangerous for young skin, Everyday materials like sunscreen contain the same ingredients. In fact, many people take a few days of itchiness for younger skin. The ban probably wouldn't even be approved as the shops that sell these products don't want to lose sales and many people don't want to lose their freedom of buying things.
Agreed. This is America, the land of freedom.
Okay. Yeah, no. This is interesting. That's an interesting point there, or way to phrase that, Annabelle. Good point. Good arguments, guys. I think we have a couple lawyers in this class. Great way of structuring arguments, and you guys think of some things that I've never thought of as well. Okay, so that's it for that. If you think so, the homework question is, if you think tweens and teens using anti-aging products is a problem, what ideas do you have for addressing it? What role could parents, doctors, teachers, or peers have having the conversation about this? And then here are some other homework words. So these are fill in the blank questions based on words in our vocab section. So there's 10 questions, 5 words, which means every word can be used at least twice. No, sorry. Every word can be used more than once. Okay. That is it for today, guys. I will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye, thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.